The rain in Vancouver never stops. That's what people say anyway. As I stand at my kitchen window, watching the droplets trace familiar paths down the glass, I think they're wrong. The rain does stop. It's just that the silence between the drops is so brief, you barely notice it. 5 years. 5 years since I learned that 3 seconds of distraction can rewrite 2 lives forever. My coffee has gone cold in my hands, but I don't mind. The ceramic mug bears the logo of the community center where I volunteer. Hope Haven, building bridges, healing hearts. The irony isn't lost on me. I've spent half a decade building bridges for others while burning the most important one behind me. Emma, you're going to be late. My reflection stares back from the window, and I barely recognize the woman looking at me. Somewhere between the guilt and the endless volunteering, I've become a ghost of who I used to be. My auburn hair, once vibrant and wild, now hangs limp around my shoulders. My green eyes, which my mother always said sparkled with mischief, have dulled to the color of sea glass. I grab my keys from the counter, the small metal keychain shaped like a musical note catching the morning light. I bought it 3 years ago at a thrift store, thinking it might help somehow. Like carrying a piece of music could undo what I'd taken away. The drive to Hope Haven takes me through the heart of East Vancouver, past the rows of heritage houses with their colorful facades fighting against the persistent gray sky. The wipers on my Honda Civic, not the same car, never the same car, sweep back and forth in a rhythm that matches my heartbeat. Fast, anxious, guilty. I've memorized every traffic light, every crosswalk, every place where I need to slow down. I've become the most careful driver in the city, probably in all of British Columbia. But careful doesn't erase careless. Nothing does. At the red light on Commercial Drive, I watch a young man cross the street, guitar case slung over his shoulder. My chest tightens the way it always does when I see musicians. I wonder if he's heading to a gig, if someone's waiting to hear him play, if his hands move across the strings the way Liam's used to. The light turns green, and I press the accelerator gently, always gently. Hope Haven sits nestled between a Vietnamese restaurant and a vintage bookstore, its red brick facade softened by climbing ivy that turns brilliant orange in the fall. Today, the leaves are that perfect autumn gold that makes Vancouver look like a postcard, despite the rain. Morning, Emma. Sarah, the center's director, waves from behind the reception desk. Her smile is genuine, the kind that reaches her eyes and makes you believe that good people still exist in the world. The Martinez family is here early for their appointment. Sarah doesn't know my story. None of them do. As far as they're concerned, I'm just another volunteer who showed up 5 years ago with an unusual dedication to helping families navigate trauma. They don't know that I'm not here to heal others. I'm here because healing others is the only thing that makes the weight in my chest bearable. I'll be right there, I say, hanging my raincoat on the hook by the door. The familiar smell of coffee and hope. If hope has a smell, it's the mixture of fresh paint and determination that permeates this place, wraps around me like a hug I don't deserve. Mrs. Martinez sits in the waiting area with her 8-year-old son, Carlos, who hasn't spoken since the car accident that took his father 6 months ago. The boy stares at his hands, small fingers that should be learning to throw baseballs or build Lego castles, not learning to carry grief. Buenos dias, Carlos, I say, settling into the chair across from him. ¿Cómo estás hoy? He looks up at me with eyes too old for his face, and I see myself reflected there, the weight of something too heavy for a heart to carry alone. As we begin our session, working through art therapy and gentle conversation, I find myself thinking about another boy who loved music, who had dreams bigger than the small stage where he used to play. I wonder if Liam ever thinks about the music he'll never make, or if he's found a way to fill that silence. The rain continues its eternal dance against the windows, and I continue my own eternal dance with guilt. But for 45 minutes with Carlos, drawing pictures of happy memories and talking about his papa, I almost forget the weight I carry. Almost. When the session ends and Carlos manages a small smile, the first one I've seen from him, I feel that familiar pang. This is why I do this. Not for absolution, because I don't believe that exists for someone like me. I do this because if I can't undo the harm I've caused, maybe I can prevent it from happening to someone else. As I watch Mrs. Martinez and Carlos leave, hand in hand under a shared umbrella, I think about forgiveness. Not the kind others give you, but the kind you're supposed to give yourself. 5 years, and I still don't know how to do that. The rain keeps falling, and I keep carrying my weight, one drop at a time. Emma, you need to get out more. Sarah's voice cuts through my concentration, as I organize donation boxes in the storage room. It's Thursday afternoon, and the center is quiet except for the sound of rain drumming against the metal roof. I don't look up from the box of winter coats I'm sorting. I get out plenty. I'm here almost every day. That's not what I mean, and you know it. Sarah leans against the doorframe, her arms crossed in that motherly way that makes me feel like a teenager being lectured. At 52, she has this uncanny ability to see through everyone's carefully constructed walls. When's the last time you did something just for yourself? The question hangs in the air like incense. I can't remember the last time I did anything that wasn't connected to helping someone else, or trying to balance the cosmic scales I'd tipped 5 years ago. I'm fine, Sarah. Really. She sighs, the kind of sigh that says she's not buying it, but she's not going to push. Not today, anyway. There's a community festival in Victoria next weekend. Music, local artists, food trucks. The center got donated tickets. She pulls a colorful flyer from her back pocket. I think you should go. The word music hits me like a physical thing. My hands still for a moment, a child's red mittens suspended between the keep and donate piles. I don't really do festivals, I say, which is true. I haven't been to any kind of music event since. Exactly why you should go. Sarah steps into the room and places the flyer on the sorting table. Look, I know you've got whatever demons you're wrestling with. We all do. But hiding from life isn't the same as living it. I glance at the flyer despite myself. Victoria Waterfront Music Festival, celebrating community, creativity, and connection. The image shows the inner harbor with its iconic Parliament buildings in the background, string lights reflected in the dark water. It's just for the day, Sarah continues, her voice gentler now. Take the ferry over Saturday morning, come back Sunday. Fresh air, different scenery. Maybe you'll even smile. I want to tell her that I don't deserve to smile, that I don't deserve festivals or music, or anything that resembles joy. But Sarah doesn't know about the accident, about Liam, about the 3 seconds that changed everything. To her, I'm just a dedicated volunteer who works too hard and lives too little. I'll think about it. I lie. Good. She pats my shoulder and heads back toward the main office. The ticket's on my desk if you change your mind. After she leaves, I stare at the flyer. Victoria is only a short ferry ride from Vancouver, but it might as well be another planet. The thought of being surrounded by music, by people celebrating and enjoying life, makes my stomach clench. But there's something else, something I don't want to acknowledge. A tiny part of me, the part that used to love live music, that used to dance in her kitchen while cooking dinner, whispers that maybe Sarah is right. Maybe I have been hiding. I fold the flyer and slip it into my jacket pocket. That evening, I sit in my small apartment in Kitsilano, looking out at English Bay as the sunset paints the water in shades of gold and pink. My apartment is sparse, functional, more like a way station than a home. I never saw the point in making it comfortable. Comfort feels like something I haven't earned. The flyer sits on my coffee table next to my untouched dinner. I keep glancing at it, then looking away like it might bite me. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister in Toronto. How are you doing, Em? Mom's worried, says you haven't called in 2 weeks. I start to type my usual response. I'm fine, just busy. But my fingers pause over the screen. Am I fine? When did fine become my default state? My armor against anyone who might try to get too close. Instead, I write, I'm thinking about going to a music festival this weekend. The response comes back almost immediately. What? Emma going to a festival? Are you feeling okay? Do you have a fever? Despite everything, I almost smile. Almost. Very funny. It's just a day trip. I'm proud of you, Em. Whatever's been keeping you locked up in that shell of yours, maybe it's time to crack it open a little. If only she knew that the shell isn't keeping things out. It's keeping something in. Something that feels too dangerous to let loose. I walk to the window and press my palm against the cool glass. Somewhere out there, maybe in Toronto, maybe somewhere else entirely, is a man whose life I changed forever. Does he ever think about music the way I think about those 3 seconds? Does he wake up every morning and remember what he's lost? The flyer seems to glow in my peripheral vision. Maybe Sarah is right. Maybe I have been hiding. Maybe it's time to stop. I pick up my phone and before I can change my mind, I text Sarah. I'll take that ticket. Her response is immediate. Finally. You won't regret this, Emma. But as I stare out at the darkening bay, I can't shake the feeling that regret and I are old friends by now. What's one more weekend together? The community center in Victoria feels different tonight. The harsh fluorescent lights have been dimmed, replaced by warm string lights that cast gentle shadows across the walls. Children's artwork from Liam's music program decorates every surface. Handmade guitars cut from construction paper, drawings of musical notes dancing across crayon skies. I stand at the back of the room, my hands trembling as I watch Liam tune a modified guitar. 3 weeks have passed since that first confrontation in the festival tent. 3 weeks of tentative conversations, shared coffees, and carefully navigating the minefield of our shared past. He's transformed this space into something magical. The children, 8 of them tonight, aged 6 to 12, each carrying their own invisible wounds, sit in a semicircle around him. Some in wheelchairs, others with prosthetic limbs, all of them looking at Liam like he hung the stars just for them. "Tonight is special," Liam says, his voice carrying that gentle authority I've come to know so well. "Tonight, Emma is going to help us with something we've been working on." My heart hammers against my ribs. When he asked me to be part of tonight's session, I almost said no. The weight of being in a room full of children, knowing what I've taken from their teacher, felt unbearable. But here I am. "Miss Emma," calls out Sophie, a 7-year-old with spina bifida whose smile could power the entire city. "Are you ready for our surprise?" I nod, not trusting my voice. Liam catches my eye and gives me the smallest of smiles. Over these 3 weeks, I've learned to read the subtle expressions that cross his face. This one says, "Trust me. We've been working on a song," he explains to the room, though his eyes stay on me. "About second chances. About how sometimes the most beautiful music comes from the broken places." He begins to play, his fingers moving across the strings with an adaptation technique he's developed over the years. The melody is simple, haunting, and completely his own. One by one, the children join in, some humming, others using adaptive instruments, all of them creating something bigger than themselves. From the broken places, something new can grow. From the silent spaces, music starts to flow. Every scar's a story, every tear's a song. Every broken heart can learn to sing along.